revenue source. We need $13 million a year. When we get all of the rescue plan money, we only got half of it now, $2.5 million. When we get the $5 million, that's not even half of what we need in 1 year in order to fund this plan. It's not enough money. It can't be used for it. The people who are saying that you should use it for that either aren't accurate or aren't being genuine. The next slides do go into the police department. Again, very important work that those individuals are providing as well to the community. Again, this is our commitment with those resources. This is the budget. This is the 5-year financial summary that you've seen and will adopt on second reading. The next slide that gets into the lodging tax question. You see that language. The next slide is the fact that we're going to be using those resources to hire some staff personnel to help us maintain the parks that we've got. That's not inexpensive as well. As Jeff likes to point out, our parks are very, very well loved, particularly in challenging times. They seem to be even used additionally. So that's where we need those additional resources. And the next slide is the sales tax and use tax. 1 penny on a $10 purchase allows us to get into open space. We will constantly hear from community members the desire for more open space and the hope that they can have open space as has been their thinking in regards to the property. That's what this allows. And then the next item is the revenue from that. That would be some maintenance money, but primarily acquisition. Public acquisition, not taking, but willing sellers, willing to provide open space for the community at a price. And then the following is the Tabor range. Again, this is the restriction on Castlewood. Who else in Douglas County has this restriction? Nobody. We're saying that if we do receive surplus revenue under Tabor, this is how we're using it. We need it in order to fund our police and fire plan over the years. We also need it for roads, primarily the grants that we're going to get and hope to get for Crystal Valley Interchange. If we don't get this, the town will not be able to build Crystal Valley Interchange. Somebody else gets to it. We can't take any grant money. I don't know who's going to do it. The irony is that we get to maintain it. Right? And CDOT's rules have got us maintaining the North Meadows extension interchange. That's just how CDOT allocates that. They've got the entire state to work on. We work as partners, but the golden rule of politics is those with the golden rule. And they told us what the rules are. That's what they're going to do on this interchange. They've not offered any funding for it. But we still need to build it. So that is the background that you asked for. This is an illustration on the Tabor revenue limit. It's challenging to explain. We do our best. I think we've done our best in the information that's been out and available to the public. And hopefully the public's confidence in the community, public's confidence in the road systems that we need, the parks that they enjoy, and the police and fire department that work every day to protect them will bear fruit on November 2nd. So that's some background there.
Man, this guy.
Anything else to add, David? You're good. You're good.
I think I'm pretty close to tapped out.
Okay.
I'll be happy to respond to
No
questions.
problem. We do have some members of the audience who would like to speak. Before they speak, were there any questions for Dave or staff? Seeing none, we'll go on the public comment. I have Wayne Harless.
Good evening, Mayor, Town Council. Because of the high level of intensity right here, I think we're starting over the levy. I wish I were in a position to make a motion for the town of Castle Rock to buy each and every one of the town council members a copy of Robert's Rules. That was fun. I've had it said to me before. But I'm here to speak about this resolution tonight. Over the past few months, there have been multiple comments. I don't know if it was multiple comments from one of the town council members or from several, that they were glad that they didn't have to vote on this, that they're going to be able to put it in the lap of the voters to vote on all these tax increases. If you vote on this resolution, you are voting for this. I'm starting an issues committee, and I already have 2 radio interviews started and scheduled. And I can promise you, every single one of you that votes for this resolution tonight will have your name mentioned on the radio. I promise. So do with that as you will. If you want to just leave it in the hands of the voters, that's fine. But if you vote on this resolution, you're advocating for it, and you're telling the voters where you stand. So, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Pardon me. Next up, I have Karen Ann Harless.
Take this.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to start somewhat similar to my husband, because we just happen to be Robert's Rules fanatics. There's no such thing as a friendly amendment, and I would certainly suggest that the town council invest in a current copy of Robert's Rules rather than the 10th edition, which the town manager appeared to, or town attorney appeared to have. We're on the 12th now. I'm studying to be a registered parliamentarian, so I'm a geek in that regard. But now back to the issue at hand, which is agenda item 12. I was quite alarmed to hear Councilmember Dietz actually say, complaining about what? I wonder if he had listened to my husband and I the 2 times we came, where we specifically said why we were complaining. Now, that doesn't mean any council members have to agree, but to act like we haven't articulately expressed our views was extraordinarily disrespectful. Have you not listened? I remind you, every time I come up here, I start with the same sentence. Government is force, and I want you guys to get that through your heads. This is an inappropriate use of your power. We kept hearing this very noble calling about how you just wanted to put it before the voters. But now you're salting the soup, or at least you're thinking of salting the soup, by using your positions of privilege and power to influence this vote. I don't care if it's allowed by the rules, it's unethical. And you should not be doing it, and it flies in the face of everything you told to us before about how, oh, we're just letting the voters decide. No, you're not. You're becoming advocates for force. It's funny, I kept hearing this emotional, I would call it emotional manipulation about how can you possibly be against having more police. The only thing that was missing from that manipulation was think of the children and why do you want to kill grandma? That's not appropriate coming from the DS. Police protect us from street thieves. Who's going to protect us from government thieves? That's what I want to know. And it wasn't just about police. We're stealing for parks. You guys are reaching into my pocket to steal for parks. You can say it's only a modest amount. I'm going to come up and just collect $1 from each of you at gunpoint tonight. Will you be okay with it? It's just $1. It's modest. It's not up to you to determine what is a modest amount to steal from other people. I would really like to see the town move to a model where you have voluntary earmarks. I'm sure a lot of people would voluntarily pay for parks. I might. But don't steal from people who don't want to voluntarily pay for parks. I shouldn't have to give a civics lessons that parks are not a proper function of government. If there's to be government at all, its only proper function is protection of life, property, and liberty, not frisbees and dogs. And I noticed the city manager say, those people don't talk about these issues of, oh, we have the lowest property taxes. Yes, we did. We did talk about that. And in fact, someone got up here and challenged that characterization. I'm finding when I come here, there's a lot of like back-patting glad handing about how great the council is and how bad the people are that oppose things. And I really wish this habit would stop. Stop downplaying coercion as modest and stop having a mutual admiration society. And as far as saying your advocacy isn't using public dollars to advocate as it would be if city employees advocate, who's paying your salary? I am. Who's paying for this building and the lights? I am. Yeah, you are using public dollars, and I deeply, deeply resent it. It's inappropriate. Do not vote for this resolution. I don't care if the law allows it. It's absolutely unethical.
Thank you, Karen Ann. Next up, I have Matt Osborne.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and members of Town Council. I'm Matt Osborne. I'm speaking on behalf of 83 firefighters that are part of the Castle Rock Professional Firefighters. We are in favor of all 4 of the ballot measures, but I'm going to speak on the 2 that we are absolutely endorsing, which are 2A and 2D. As the town manager has eloquently said, this has not been taken lightly. We've actually been requesting this for probably about 3 to 4 years internally, looking at the positions that we need, figuring out how we can do this better with the money that we have, and we just haven't been able to do it. We have a training division that trains 80